Again, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Viewpoints with me, your boy the man, NJ, number 2 the city, with the number 2 and TO. Now, if you ask me, this probably should be titled B&E TV Sports, Analyst Show or something like that, but I'll just, for now, I'm not really, once I post it, I'm not really going to title it that. I'm probably going to title it my 2018 NFL mock draft based upon the Senior Bowl, which I just saw today. So of course this is Saturday, 1:27. I'm shooting this video at 11:12. I just got done uploading my videos of Living Up to Everything, Your Brighter Day, on Sermon of the Day, and hold up, I'm also playing Madden right quick. And when I say / immense credit to winter sport athletes, so forth and so forth. So when it comes to mock drafts, let's, someone get into this. Cleveland Browns. I do not fully see them drafting Saquon Barkley number 1, but again, this draft is filled with too many talented quarterbacks for them to kind of worry about getting, one. Honestly, I think they can't. I think in this draft, you can't go wrong with any of these quarterbacks. I don't think. Shout out, God bless, Nebraska's quarterback. Forgot his first name. His last name is Lee. Shout out, God bless him. Only problem is, I think it's Tanner Lee, something like that. Only problem is with his performance. His draft stock probably went down through his performance in today's Senior Bowl. His draft stock probably went down. But at the same time, I'm going to literally just go and tell you like this. The Browns drafting Saquon Barkley, it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like saying, it's like when they drafted Trent Richardson somewhere in the first round back in 2012 or 13. Only problem is you saw what happened with that. They drafted him, they traded him, which was, a good and bad move at the same time. But they drafted him, they traded him, and then his career went completely downhill when he went for the when he went to the Indianapolis Colts. His career completely went downfield from there to where he spent, I think, two good seasons there. But if you ask me, the reason why his career went downfield was because every single time I saw him trying to run that football, he got literally stuffed every time. If I'm not mistaken, he got stuffed literally every time I saw him try to run that football. I can't even tell you why the Colts traded for him that year, because I remember being that, I remember riding around. By the way, my voice is a little bit still messed up because I guess I'm still a tad bit sick, or at least it's just my vocal cords, because I overall feel 100, but I guess it's just my vocal cords for right now. But as I was saying, I remember whatever year that was in which he was drafted, well, not drafted, but traded to the Colts. I remember riding around in Bartram Park over there across the street from that Chili's and Walgreens. I remember driving around there, and when I got that report on my phone, I either got that report on my phone that exact day at school, or I got it after school. But I got that report on my phone saying that they had traded him to the Colts. And I'm thinking to myself, why do the Colts need him? They just got Frank Gore, if I'm not mistaken. So or whoever they had back then. I know the Colts had already had a running back in place, to where that move just didn't make much sense why they wanted him. It didn't make much sense to me. And obviously, it ultimately didn't work out. But I'm going to tell you this one thing I can't stand about the NFL. God bless the NFL, and hopefully they get more things right when it comes to everything that they're doing. But one thing I can't stand about the NFL and or just its teams is, tell me how in the world so many talented athletes every year go undrafted and never get a real opportunity to play professional. Or even the ones that do, their chances are very slim, very limited, to where, for example, let me bring up this guy, Trey Mason. He got, for all you Rams fans out there, you definitely know who I'm talking about. Or you should know who I'm talking about. Trey Mason, he was a running back for, I believe, the Georgia Bulldogs, or some SEC team. And I don't know which specific year, but I think he came out. I believe it was whatever year Todd Gurley got drafted, which I think was 2014. It was 2014, 2015. I don't know whatever year it was, but it was the year that Todd Gurley got drafted. I don't think Trey Mason got drafted. I think he was a free agent, but I remember hearing about both of those guys very heavily, a part of the Rams being, that I guess you could say double back, duo, just like the Jaguars some would have with all of our running backs, and like teams like the Eagles have with their running backs, and another team, I'm trying to figure out what other team that is that got that, and the Titans with Derrick Henry, and the other dude is Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray. So my point with saying that is, it's kind of amazing how, again, you can probably look up Trey Mason's highlights somewhere on YouTube, but he's a running back who, again, from an SEC school, I don't know which one, but I think it was Georgia or Auburn, and what happened was, or Alabama, I don't fully know. I mean, I could look it up on my phone right now, but I don't really feel like looking it up on my phone. Trey Mason, so what happened was, like I said before, he, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that year, it was Todd Gurley's rookie year, and him and Todd Gurley had a great rookie year together, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just a shame that if you look up Trey Mason, TRE, and then Mason, or if you look up Trey Mason on Bing, YouTube, whatever, not on a search engine, like Bing or Google, Yahoo, whatever, if you look up his Wikipedia, it will show that the only team he's ever played with was the Rams. Somebody tell me why that is. And again, and here's, by the way, Jaguar fans, you remember who Toby Gerhart is? I'll say that again. Jaguar fans, do you remember who Toby Gerhart is? Toby Gerhart was the guy that the Jaguars had traded for from the Vikings to, I want to say, replace Maurice Jones-Drew. That was the year. That was I don't know which specific year that was, but I can definitely assure you that after that year went by and Toby Gerhart didn't fully establish himself, as our premier guy, we drafted what's his name, T.J. Yeldon, and if you ask me, that's gone pretty good thus far. But obviously, Leonard Fournette was the slam dunk out of the park, obviously. Two different sports on that analogy, though, but you get the point. But the big point there is Toby Gerhart. Only if you look up his Wikipedia, only two teams he's played for, Minnesota and Jacksonville. So if you don't understand what my point is, why did they never get any other opportunities in the league? Somebody tell me that. Why didn't they get any other opportunities in the league? I don't understand that about the NFL. Why the NFL doesn't give these guys enough opportunities. They'll give so many other dudes who, I'm telling you, don't have close to the talent that they should, or better yet, they have immense talent, but they're not executing it better yet to all the degrees that they should. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of those guys out there who get more opportunities than some of these other real guys. I mean, they're all real, but you get the point when it comes to other guys who really deserve that opportunity as well to showcase their skills and shine on it. To showcase their skills and shine on it. If you didn't hear my last few words. I haven't really been talking much today, so I don't know why my voice is very, as if I had been. Because I know I haven't been. But, as I was saying, that's just my big point there. My mock draft here will be Cleveland Browns do not take Saquon Barkley number 1. If you ask me, they don't need to take Saquon Barkley number 1. If anything, the Giants, they need to take Saquon Barkley, or they need to take a offensive tackle or somebody like that. They either need to take a running back such as Saquon Barkley, or take somebody to beef up their offensive line. Because if I'm not mistaken, the offensive line is garbage. And so is the Colts' offensive line. Garbage. And you'd be like, how can you tell that? I can tell that because all the games that I watched this past NFL season, even though the Super Bowl is the next game up for this season, all the games that I watched this 2017 season, I can assure you this is what I saw. I saw that if I was Jacoby Brissett, I probably would consider retiring from the league. But that's just me. And the reason why is because he literally got, him and CJ Beathard, kind of backup quarterback at this point right now for the 49ers. Him and CJ Beathard, they got just beat up and pummeled this season. Like, no offense to Jacoby Brissett, but there's a reason why you couldn't beat Jacksonville twice. You know, because left and right he was getting sacked. Left and right he was, I mean, these are the games I watched. Left and right he was getting sacked. He wasn't getting the ball out of his hands quick enough, and even the balls that he did get out of his hand, they either weren't accurate enough, or they, or they were getting picked off or something. Like, he just, but I totally can tell he got sacked a lot, and that's what I'm talking about. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that about the Colts offensive line. Like, why is your offensive line this garbage? I mean, it's just their offensive line is garbage. I'm sorry, because from all the footage that I watched, they like literally let Jacoby Brissett, just like CJ Beathard with the 49ers, those guys were like punching bags this entire season for their team. That because their offensive lines, I mean, at least from the games I watched, Jacoby Brissett was definitely a punching bag, and definitely CJ Beathard. I'm sorry, but at least from all the footage that I watched, they were both punching bags for their teams this year. And this is not to say, like, forget them. No, God bless them, and I wish them a great continuous NFL career. But I'm just saying, based upon their offensive lines this year, they both got beat up like punching bags because of their offensive line and because of, their delivery and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, everybody else got their own, obviously, takes on how things went. But as well, CJ Beathard, and actually both, like I say, it's just such an interesting controversy with both the 49ers and Colts with their quarterback positions. And be like, why you say that? Because think about it. CJ Beathard should know. Somewhat just like Zach Mittenberger, who's now out of the league, which I don't understand how and why, but he's out of the league. Zach Mittenberger, drafted by the Tennessee Titans somewhere in before the 2015 draft. It was the 2014 draft then, because the 2015 draft, if I'm not mistaken, is when they drafted Winston and Mariota first and second. So my point there is the fact being Zach Mittenberger, who played for Miss Madeline Bassett's College of LSU. Zach Mittenberger, he played, the three teams he's played for in the NFL was Tennessee, Chargers, and Pittsburgh. And now he's out of the league. If you ask me, that doesn't make much logical sense for why he's out of the league. It doesn't. But he is. And that's why I'm saying, what? But as I'm saying, if you study it like I'm studying, CJ Beathard should know. If they re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo, unless Jimmy Garoppolo plays terrible, I'm not getting my starting job back. He should know that by now. Unless if they re-sign Jimmy, unless Jimmy plays terrible, I'm not getting my starting job back. He should know that by now. If you ask me, CJ Beathard should know that. And Jacoby Brissett, God bless both of these guys, but this is just my analysis. Even Jacoby Brissett should know, this is Andrew Luck's team. I'm just here as a bridge. Literally. I'm here as a placeholder until Andrew Luck comes back. When Andrew Luck comes back, I'm benched. I'm the backup. And Scott Tolzien shouldn't even be still employed by the Colts anymore. And Scott Tolzien, God bless you, bro, but you shouldn't even be still employed because by the Colts, that is. The reason why I say that, because do you remember that game? I believe that first game you started, I don't know if it was the first game you started this season, but it was that game versus the Rams. And I'm pretty sure it was the first game you started this season versus the Rams. The only reason why, I swear, if you had played better, they wouldn't have felt a need to put Jacoby Brissett in right then and there. They probably could have let him learn the offense for 2 or 3 more weeks and then inserted him in. But you went out there through 3 interceptions, and then it was like, yep, we got to insert Jacoby in. But even though the video's going past the time, just to let y'all know, again, Cleveland Browns, whoever they draft, this draft class is filled with immense talent. So whoever they draft, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, I'm gonna go past